What is up, A team? Welcome back. Awesome here. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. Or not depending on what, but hope it is awesome. And yes, we're back at it today to talk more about crypto, to obviously talk more about the markets. Markets are definitely fluttering right now. Levels we're seeing, coming up are pretty rough right now. I mean, XRP just breaking through the 89, 189. You can see Bitcoin sitting here roughly at it's probably around 84. You got Ethereum coming down at 29. Some levels look like it hit 2,700. We'll definitely go through those levels today. We have some other things to share out here because there's other things that are quite remarkable on what's happening in the markets, just from the cryptocurrency standpoint, which I'll share here during this live. Also, want to talk about maybe where the future is going in terms of crypto. One thing I want to put out here, if you've watched my lives over the last couple weeks, I've showed bearish news and I've showed bullish news. I've been able to show, the goods and the bads, and let you guys decide on what's the best here. I know some people, commented on X out there saying that influencers or content creators are creating, bad buzz in the space, saying that they're bullish, and I think it's okay to be bullish on something, but I think it's also important to share both sides of it, and I think I've done a pretty good job of sharing both sides, from a bullish standpoint and from a bearish standpoint, and letting people decide what's best for them or where the things are going. But one thing I have been very consistent with is looking at the indicators, and the indicators have said that it's going to be a little bit bearish here. I've been saying that the dailies need to reset. The dailies are resetting as of right now, and at the end of the day, I think things are actually turning out where we thought they were going to go. Again, I was hoping that we'd be in a little bit higher in prices, but I mean, indicators are saying that we're going to come down, and that's kind of what's happening right now. So with all that, I do want to say what's up to the A team in here. We got Just Meow in the house here. We got BP. What's up, buddy? We got Dutch. What's up, man? Z Goals. What's up, man? We got Oza. What's up? Good to see you too. We got RPM in the house here. What's up, RPM? Good to see you. Jorge's in the house here. What's up, everyone over on the TikTok side? Appreciate you guys all over there on the TikTok side as well. If you guys comment in the comment section, I will say what's up to you guys. Usually TikTok doesn't comment too much. So Crypto Real, what's up, man? We got Pipeline in the house here. Griff, Swords and Daisy, what's up, buddy? Tony Punch, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Hope all is well. Crypto Keeper Joel, what's up, my guy? R Lakes in the house. We got F Joe Jack, what's up, man? William, good to see you. We got Candy, what's up, Candy? Jen, good to see Jen. Gen X Deb, good to see you. We got Wendell in the house here. $2. Thank you so much for the super chat here. XCL Mafia. Yeah, XCL is looking pretty strong right now. Overall, even Sentinel right now. The pre-sale is looking phenomenal. What are the pre-sales? Almost a 2 million for the pre-sale. 9 days left. And Sentinel's killing it. And they're putting out some crazy stuff out there, some really cryptic stuff, which is kind of exciting. So yeah, shout out to the Sentinel and the XCL Mafia. Could be more excited for that project, man. You the man. Always loved your videos pop up. Appreciate you, Corey. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate you guys. Fibonacci, what's up, bud? Hey, y'all, what's up, dude? What's going on? Are you still going to have a Santa rally? We'll talk about that just now. There's actually some good data out on it, but we'll talk about it. And, people have to then make their own decisions. Again, I'm just here spreading the news. I'm just here talking about crypto. I'm not here making predictions. I'm just saying where I think markets could go, where I see things. Yes, I'm probably a little bit more bullish and then bearish, but I mean, we're at prices that that November of 2024 we were not at. So just over a month ago, or a year and a month ago, we were not even close to these levels of where we're at today. So I mean, overall, when you look back, I mean, they're not as bad, but I mean, yeah, I get the point where some people are obviously jumping into this and they're down. So I totally understand that. And but we'll talk more about it and see where it goes from here. So with all that, let's jump into it. We got some things to cover here. As you guys can see right here on the cryptocurrency chart, you can see right here that we are down. Obviously, we fell back below the $3 trillion market cap, back down to 2.93 trillion. You can see our fear and greed index actually hit below 20s today. It's jumped back up a little bit to the 24, but over last night into today, definitely came down. BTC is dumping, heading towards 80K. Yeah, it's kind of looking like, we could hit some levels here. We're going to pull it up here later in the stream and talk about some levels and where some charts are going to, where some buys are. Obviously, I'm going to be putting in some long positions here, waiting for these indicators to sort of come down and flatten out. You could have been shorting the markets as well. I didn't short the markets. I don't really care. I don't really like shorting the markets. I'll just wait for the indicators to align. And once multiple indicators align, then I'll jump in, I'll do some longs. And again, the markets will be up and down, up and down. And as long as you can make, one good trade a week, I think you're in a pretty good spot. You know what I mean? Some people are trying to catch trades every single day, and that's usually when you tend to get wrecked, which is what happened right now with all the liquidation events. So Santa rally, Members, when they said y'all be able to buy XRP under $2 again? Yeah, here we go, right? Hey, Austin, BTC dropped 20% because of Japan hikes. Yeah, we could talk about that. Yeah, I saw that. The hikes, I don't know if that's necessarily because of that. I think there's a lot of other things jumping in here, but yeah, sent is Santa. Hell yeah. ATM market is trying to make a Christmas. Yeah, I know. Remember when you said you'll be able, yeah, I saw that. Good morning to you too, Andrew B. What's up, buddy? So you can see right now, Bitcoin back below 86,000 at 85.6. You can see Ethereum fell below 23. 3,000. It's at 2,900. And you can see right here that XRP back below the $2 mark, sitting around 189, which is kind of rough, right? I mean, a lot of the cryptos out here are bleeding pretty heavily. You can see Cardano's down pretty heavily. You can see Solana's down. Everything's coming down pretty hot right now. Over the last 7-day markers, that is. You can even see the H bars taking a beating, man, back down to 11 cents, which is crazy to see. You know what I mean? It's kind of a crazy thing, to be honest. I didn't think that H bar would fall that low, if I had to be honest about it. But a lot of other cryptos are bleeding out. I mean, we're Liberty. Look at these, dude. Like just absolutely yard sales right now. Pepe, all these things. But again, stock market looking. CNBC changed their logo, which I don't know if I like it. Just to give you guys a heads up on that. But I don't know if I like CNBC's new logo. But you can see right now the Dow is down about 79 points. You can see S&P 500's flat for the most part, around 9 points down, and NASDAQ's 95 points down. Obviously, this is created off the AI-related stocks coming under pressure again. People thinking that they're overvalued, and it's causing fear. And I think my camera's off just a tad bit here. Let me rearrange that here. Sorry, my camera's off. It's bugging me. There we go. Maybe that's a little better. And you can see, I mean, it's under pressure again from the AI side. I don't know what's going to happen with AI. AI is the new up and coming thing. I mean, it could be a bubble. Who knows? You know what I mean? It could be the bubble, but we'll see what happens here. H bar holding us nicely compared to Cardano. Cardano's taking a beating, bro. So you can see right here, every time extreme fear results in extreme regret. You can see we dipped down into a massive extreme fear last week, and we've come back out of it, but you can see we're still down. I mean, right now, our extreme fear indicator is at 24. But anytime that we've actually dipped into these levels, we've come out nicely from these. Again, it could take over a month. It could take almost 2 months for us to come out of these levels here. But I mean, it is true that anytime that we do come down into these extreme fear levels, at least over the last 3 years since the bear market, things have actually turned out to be okay for us. It's just a matter of people weathering the storm. And unfortunately, most people are not weathering the storm. And so you can see on my thumbnail, you can see like what happened, like what is going on right now. Obviously, there's some liquidation events that just happened. People are putting in long positions that are getting absolutely obliterated right now. You can see that. Just go over here. Look at the ratios on this, dude. We're talking last 4 hours. 283 million longs got absolutely obliterated. And that's from a 4-hour and a 12-hour. 12-hour was 298, almost 400 million. And this one was 283. So you can see that the gap between that is insane. And then you jump over here to the 24. I mean, basically all the longs in the last 24 hours got obliterated. And even the last hour right now, still getting demolished. I mean, the ratios on these are insane, which means, again, we're probably going to get close to hitting a bottom here. We're going to have a bounce back probably this week sometime. Where again, I'm not going to say we're going to have this bounce back. We're going to hit like all-time highs. I'm just saying we're going to have a bounce back into the green. So these are the times to be putting in some long positions here. And again, no one's going to ever catch exactly the bottom. Like even I'm not going to, be able to catch the bottom exactly. You know what I mean? But there will be a bounce back. There will be a recovery at some point. Like, will XRP go back to 195? Maybe, yeah. We'll go back to $2 potentially. And hopefully it goes above and beyond that. But we will have a bounce back to those levels where people that put in leverage positions will actually benefit. We see that with the ratios right now. It's going to happen. It'll probably happen this week. The dailies are lining up. Probably it's going to happen tonight or tomorrow. We'll see a nice little bounce back at some point because the ratios are so far off. But going back to what I was saying here is that the liquidity is insane right now. This is actually not very good. You can see Bitcoin exchange flow pulses has turned red, signaling weakening liquidity across exchanges. At the same time, exchange reserves are at historic lows, tightening available supply. Some think this is actually bullish. But when we do these things, when this thing actually comes down, this is actually a tightening that happens. And you can see this anytime that these come off of here, we actually tend to go down. And when it's in the red, we actually tend to go down in pricing when it comes to Bitcoin historically. So although having exchange and all that kind of stuff, that just means that people potentially aren't buying. Exchanges might be low on liquidity. Who knows? Maybe they're moving things around, whatever it might be. But when you start to see this actually come down, it's not a good sign for crypto. So we have that. That's a big thing. Lower liquidity reserves often lead to higher volatility and wider spreads in the Bitcoin market, which is what we're seeing right now. Also looking at this right now, this is actually a leading economic indicator, and we're seeing that we're basically, and I showed this, I've shown this multiple times across the channel, probably a handful of times, maybe a dozen times. I've showed this across the last year, talking about the index right here. And this index, which is at the 5% marker, is the Conference Board LEI drawdowns from all-time highs. And this is basically a leading economic indicator, which is showing where recessions are. And again, the index is now below the horrible levels in 1975 and 1982, which again, over here, you can see where each of these levels are. Obviously, we had our massive bubble here. We had the pandemic, which is right here, but we're actually below our pandemic levels in 2019 and 2020. We're below our 2001, which is the dot-com boom, and we're below the 1991 struggles that we've had here. I mean, we're even below the 1980 struggles, and we just peaked below the 1975. So, I mean, we're at our second worst drawdown that we've seen in quite some time here. And what this actually is saying is that new orders, credit conditions, equity prices, and consumer expectations, and what this means is that sustained rises or declines rely on this signal. And what's happening here is basically we are in it's almost like we're in a recession at this point. That's basically what this is saying, that we have reached a recession here. A drop below 5% has indicated a recession and is in progress 100% of the time. And so this has happened. This has been out here for a while, right? We've been in this recession where people have been talking like, are we in a recession? Well, this indicator is telling us that. I'm not saying that we are 100%. I mean, we've been hitting all-time highs with stocks, S&P 500, but I mean, this indicator does give you an idea that like we have been in a drawdown. I mean, you got to remember, quantitative tightening was just happening for almost 3 years, right? Since 2022, going into roughly a week and a half ago, we were in quantitative tightening. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of saying, okay, well, maybe we're going to bounce back out of this. But again, some people think that we could actually draw down even further. This is right here. Again, I show you this a lot on the bear market seasonality here. We're right on the average, dude. If you actually take 2018 and 2020, you match it across those levels where we're at in 2025, we're technically in a bear, like we are technically in a bear market if you look at the seasonality. I know that sounds crazy, especially at these levels that we're at right now. I mean, we go back and look at this. I mean, look at the levels over here. Just look over here for Bitcoin, dude. Bitcoin has, look at this, dude. The 1 week is 4% down. The 1 month is 9% down. The 3 month is 25% down. The 6 month is 17% down. The year to date is 7.92, and the 1 year is 15%. So I mean, like, we are in the red across the board. I mean, for over a year. We're basically been in the red for a year. If you take everything and you average it across a 52-week range, we're actually in the negative here. So this is that's why I love these seasonality charts here, because it actually gives you a pretty good idea where we're at. So as much as we're bullish, because you got to realize we were actually suppressed for a very, very long time during 2023. If you zoom out on this and actually go back and you look at where we were at before even November of 2020, November of 2024, which is right here, we're well above the levels that we were at during the election during almost a year and a month ago when Trump got elected, right? We were massively suppressed during these times. And so any breakout like this is great for a lot of people here. Unfortunately, what happens though is when we were all buying here, so this is great for us, then a lot of people came in and bought here, but then a lot of people came in and they bought up in here. And so eventually these people right here are actually at a higher clip of selling than any other time before. And there's data out here showing that and it's suggesting that a massive amount of people are selling, and we have short-term holders out here selling. I mean, at a high clip. The short-term holders is still below 1, meaning that recent buyers are selling BTC for less than they paid it, which is crazy to me. You can see we've hit levels that we haven't seen since the bear market, dude. So like you have a pretty high clip of people selling these. Look at that. Even 7 days, people holding it for 7 days, selling it at a loss. Everyone's selling it at a loss. And what's kind of crazy to me is like, people are actually selling it for a loss. So meaning that they either jumped in and they bought it thinking that they were going to have a good shot at like making a quick buck. You know what I mean? Like the people right here are technically not looking to hold it long term, maybe trying to make a 5%, 10%, and they ended up taking a loss on this. But a lot of that is driving what we're seeing here. A lot of that is what's driving this right here. And I mean, you can go across it again, and you can actually pull it back from 2014, 18, and 19 and 22, because this one again was just 18 and 22. This one's across 4 seasons of bear markets. And if you actually take out the average, we actually haven't got to the bottom yet. So if we are saying that we're in a bear, then we have a lot more bleeding to go. I mean, in all reality, right? And I'm not saying that like we're going to have this massive bleed out, because again, that's just the average here. And history has not been presented. History has not definitely has not like history has not repeated this year at all. In all reality, I mean, it's actually done the opposite. Anytime we think that history is going to repeat itself this year, it's done the complete opposite of that, which is again something that's kind of interesting when you think about it. Because if we're saying we're on a 4-year cycle, then we should have had a 4-year cycle type thing. And again, I know we hit all time highs, but we didn't hit levels that we ever thought we would when it came to the bull cycle. And even indicators out there that are suggesting that we were in, we had this euphoria phase and all these phases that we go through with the markets. We didn't have that in crypto, which again is kind of concerning to some degree. I mean, you're like, yeah, that's kind of a wild thing to see. Bull run over and has been over for about 1 year. That's kind of what this is saying here. I mean, you got to think the bull market actually happened. I mean, that's what's crazy. If you start to look back at this, I mean, the bull market obviously came through. I mean, we hit peaks over here in October, which again, everyone was projecting that October was going to be the height of the market. A lot of us didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that October was going to be the height for us. I definitely didn't want to believe that at all. And right now it's kind of suggesting that very well could have happened. Especially when you start to look at the dailies on this, right? We have some more bleeding to do here in Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin on the daily right now is definitely in some bleeding. The dailies need to come down. We've said this before, that we were talking about this since it peaked up here at 99, and we did these little dips right here, that at some point this was going to actually come back down. And every time you actually come back down and reset yourself, it's a pretty good drop, right? I mean, here's the peak of this was back in October 2025. We hit our peak, and then by the time we got to the bottom here, that was a 17% decline by the time we reached the bottom. Okay, and then we actually peaked back up, and we didn't actually hit a new all-time high. We actually hit we went up to a lower high is what it was. We've hit lower highs and we dipped, and now we're technically bearish on this because we've hit so many dips on this. But you can see that we went up and we hit about a 12% return, but boom, we turned right back around and reset this chart, and we came down on this little draw right here about 15%. Then we came back up just a tad bit, and we fell back down, and we fell back down again another 25%. And so what I'm saying is that now we've risen back up, and we're going to be coming back down and resetting us here. And most likely we're talking about another, 15 to 20%, somewhere in that ballpark. So we could sit here roughly around 80,000 to, if we say 20,000 to 75,000, which again puts us right at the clip of where we are for the top of the bull market, right? We know that 75,000 was the previous bull's previous high, right? It was actually 69,000. So roughly around that marker right there is where we could actually fall. And I mean, I'm not saying it could very well be on the table that we hit 68,000. I mean, based off of where we're going with this daily chart right here. I'm hoping that we don't, right? I'm hoping that we don't create a new low, which is, again, anything below 74,000 is a new low. I hope we don't actually hit that. But it's on the table. It's something you have to think about. Something you definitely have to think about. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum's in the same boat right here. Ethereum, if you go back and you follow these ups and downs of the daily, and every time this actually comes back down and reset, we find a new bottom here. And this could definitely sit right around the $2,500 marker, right? It could come down and hit this 27, come down here. I don't want it to, but I mean, just hit this fair value gap right here, hit this perfect price point right here at 2,900, which again, I mean, if you actually pull this and think that we're going to bounce off that, it very well could. This day chart's coming down pretty hot because the 12 hours at the bottom. Look at that, 12 hours at the bottom, meaning that this thing is going to reset here in about 5 hours. I bet you at this rate that we're going, we're probably going to dip below the 20 on this downturn right here. Like this is a pretty big candle. We went from roughly 3,200 all the way down to 29 in less than 24 hours. And so basically what this is saying is that I think that we're going to probably go below 20 here, but the 12 hours at the bottom, the 4 hours at the bottom, it's coming down, right? We want to test this, but it's going to be at the bottom here in about 5 hours. The hours down and the weekly's still down. So I mean, like, this is going to probably come down, and we're probably going to bounce back off of it. Again, I'm not going to say we're going to go hit all-time highs here, but I mean, we'll have a clean bounce back and make some good returns on a nice little leverage play there. So, but realize a lot of this is impacted by short-term holders here. Y'all just got caught up in the hype. That is true, Kev. I admit, I said that, we were saying October for a long time was going to be the height of the market, and that's kind of where it came out, right? Like I said, I had a feeling, and again, I'm not saying that we can't. Bear markets can be, again, 33 days was the shortest bear market ever. Bear markets could be anywhere from 30 days to 60 days, and we bounce back out of it. We don't know where this bear market's going to end, right? People want to suggest that bear markets have to last a year, or that they put a time on them, that they have to last a certain period of time. Like, there's no certain time on this. There's like no certain time as to when like things are going to happen. I know people want to predict those for the most part, and then people are saying, well, cycles have changed, and very well could have. Who knows? Who knows if cycles have changed? We're definitely seeing a shift. I mean, we're seeing a shift because we hit all-time highs. Markets are hitting all-time highs, but yet we're sort of bearish at the same time. And it definitely wasn't. I didn't feel it was like this back in the previous bear market. It definitely didn't feel like this is just a different sentiment in the markets. I can't explain it. It's just a different feeling. But realize that it doesn't mean that we have to hit all-time lows or we have to go down to these certain levels for us to be in a bear market. Like, we could say that, we're probably in a little bit of a bear market right now. We've been hitting these since the liquidation event back in October. October 10th really screwed a lot of people, hurt a lot of the liquidity on the exchanges with that liquidation event that happened. I mean, like, we saw that, and it's been hard to recover since that event that happened. I mean, we had that massive event that clipped the community here back in October. This is the event that happened right here. You can see this little red candle. I'll zoom in a little bit on it. You can see this red candle right here was actually the liquidation event that clipped the market. This right after we hit an all-time high, then we came down and we hit some massive sell-offs here, and we just haven't been able to recover from that. And it usually takes an event like that. I mean, but doesn't mean that we have to have a bear market that lasts for extended periods of time like we saw right here. I mean, this was a very long bear market, probably one of the longer ones that we've had. And I'm hoping that maybe that we're in this position for like I said, maybe another month or so. So we'll see what happens here. But indicators are saying that we're going to come down. I mean, we'll probably continue to go down, and we'll see what happens here. Again, another government shutdown looms here in January, which is a lot of it's makes a lot of people stressful. And we'll see what happens here. But I want to put so as much as there's that negative side of it that I just showed everyone, I do want to play the other positive side. Like I told you guys, it's bear, not a little bit. He's lying. We talk about, dude. I've been saying it's bearish, dude. Dude, you're ridiculous. I just literally said this guy. TikTok is so trash sometimes with people over there. Is Santa Claus rally on the way? So there is rallies. Like, we could have rallies in between these things. So it doesn't actually change anything here. You can see here, since 1929, the S&P 500 has risen 79% of Santa Claus rallies periods with an average turn about 1.6%, which is not that much. And when I say a Santa rally, that's basically 5 trading days of December. The last 5 trading days of December and the first 2 trading days of January is roughly what they're calling the Santa rally, which is 79%. Dude, TikTok is the worst. I'm honestly tired. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Like, I literally just said it, and he comes in here, and I mean, like, what an idiot. Absolute idiot. Oh my gosh. Similar, it said since 1950, S&P 500 has posted positive results in 79% of these periods. So over, basically what we're saying here is that over these last basically 8 years, we've seen that the last 2 weeks of December have actually done pretty well for crypto, or for just stocks in general and crypto. And so at the end of the day here, I think that we could have rallies. I'm not saying, when we say rallies, we're not saying that like things are going to go all the way back up. A rally is just where we hit a low and we rally back up. Where it's at 10%, 15%, most likely, you know what I mean? Most likely that's where it goes. And that's probably where we'll come back. If we go back and look at these, like, these are little rallies. Like, this right here was a little bit of a rally. We came down, we hit a low of 80 and we rallied back up to 95. Like, that's a big rally right there. So what's going to happen here? We're probably going to come down. We're going to probably hit a low. We're probably going to fall back down to, 83, maybe even 80 again. We can maybe even come back down, touch this level of 80,000 and then rally back up again. Like, that's going to probably come. And right now it's actually timing up pretty nicely with around the last 2 weeks of December and into January. I mean, we're talking 5 days. We're roughly 10 days away from Christmas right now. And then we have roughly about 5-6 days until the end of the year. So, I mean, it's kind of lining up perfectly right now. Maybe we'll have a jolt afterwards, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. But looking at this is basically what it shows, that we are going to potentially have a Santa rally at the end of the month, which seems to be kind of where things are lining up in all reality here. Also, if you want to play more of the bullish side of it versus bearish side, because again, let's talk about both sides here. The BTC Sharpe ratio shows that the current position is at the bottom. So when you actually go back and you look at these, the Sharpe ratios versus the BTC pricing, anytime that we actually get to these levels that we see right here, and anytime we actually pop into the green, we tend to actually bounce back. But again, this could just be the start. I'm not saying that this is obviously showing one sign here, but realize that this is just the beginning of that sign. We could actually trend down into even more of a bearish territory here. But you never know what can happen here. We can actually bounce back off of this Sharpe ratio here and continue up to another high, which is what some people are actually predicting right now. So we'll see what happens here. Austin, can you check out Cent High for pre-sale investors? Yeah, I'll take a look here, Dale. I'll take a look here in a minute, dude. We are down because Robert passed away. That was crazy, by the way. That was absolutely crazy. This big dip triggers the bots to sell, which makes it worse. You're right. I mean, there's a lot of triggers in the market right now that are selling. I mean, this is all bot trading. I've told you guys that more and more, and obviously creates more volatility. So it's just kind of crazy. Imagine this: you didn't buy XRP on the first, then the clarity hits next month. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. I mean, the Clarity Act's still coming. There's going to be a government shutdown if something doesn't happen. But one great thing here is that we can actually see right here that this is Bitcoin holds above the US ETF cost basis of 83,000. So this is across all the board here, is that the average cost for all ETFs that have bought Bitcoin is around 83,800, and right now the price is actually holding above that on an average cost. So this is really good since the ETFs have come out here. We obviously want this price to hold. We want all this cost basis to continue doing it. Holding above the ETF cost shows institutional position is still intact, and this level matters for market confidence. So we want to stay above this, and I think if it actually starts to go below the 83,800 on an average, we could then probably say, you know what, this is actually super bearish. This is super bearish. I think that's an indicator that we can actually come out and say we have now entered a massive bearish sentiment in the markets. Another great thing here is that when you're actually looking at oversold, again, you guys know me. I like looking at my RSIs. RSIs are probably one of the most important things to me. I mean, we all do our own thing here. We all talk about our own stuff here. And for me, it's always been the RSIs. It's always been where we have oversold or overpurchased territories, which is where we want to come in and actually buy up our positions, buy up our leverages, our longs, whatever it might be. Like, these are the areas that you want to buy. And so when you're actually zooming out on this is on a weekly side here. So again, when you're looking at the weekly side, this is actually a very strong indicator that we're going to have a bounce back here. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that we're going to hit all-time highs. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just telling you that anytime that we hit these levels since 2022, when we come down and reach these levels, we actually do very, very well. Extreme oversold levels create extreme opportunities for a lot of us. So people who actually bought the tops of these just realize that you're now entering positions where there's an opportunity to actually buy in at lower prices. Again, charts can still come down. Realize that, I mean, even when you look at Bitcoin, just zoom out on this. Again, we'll go back on the weekly here. You got to realize that when you go back and look at the previous bear market went to 15,000. It was like 15,500, right? The previous height of the previous bull was around 19,000. So when I say that, I'm just saying that we come around that pricing of the previous high. So we're already there. I mean, we're actually closer to the bottom than we are to the top right now. And when you actually look at the pricing here, I mean, we're not that far away from the previous height of the previous bull, which is 68,000. We're sitting here at roughly 85,000. We're basically 20,000 away, less than that, dude. We're like $18,000 away from actually hitting the previous height of the previous bull, which is actually the bottom of the bear. Like, that's the bottom of the bear. We all know that now. You can go back and look at the previous bull runs on this. If we actually come down and hit 68,000, like, that is extreme buy. Like, I will probably be buying as much as I possibly can at that price, because last time I bought Bitcoin was back over here. I bought it at 20,000, which is, again, right at the peak of this bull market right here. This came down, hit the previous high. I bought it. It dipped lower when I bought it, but I was trying to buy up as much as I can, and I averaged out around 21,000 for my Bitcoin, which is where we're at. So if this comes back down and hits around the 68,000 mark, or even gets close to that, like, yeah, I'm going to probably try to accumulate as much Bitcoin as I possibly can, because we know that the bounce back is here. We know the bounce back is coming. And it's happened every single bear market. And so if we are saying this is bearish territory, then absolutely, why would you not? So that's what I'm doing, just to be 100% honest. So liquidity has been liquidated. It's hard to see that money coming back in. It'll come back in, dude. It always does. What's up, Tommy Savage? Good to see you, dude. Scott Starling, good to see you, man. Howdy, y'all. Thanks for the invite. Oh, appreciate you, Oceans. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here on the TikTok side, dude. I feel like everyone is waiting for the Clarity Act. I mean, the Clarity Act's going to come out here, but again, it's going to probably be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. But I mean, like, it should help out with a lot of things here. And if you actually look at it, I mean, what's kind of crazy about this is that the SEC has come out here, and basically you can see right here. I mean, what the Clarity Act, I don't know what the Clarity Act's going to do, because you can see right here, the SEC has pulled back from crypto enforcement since Trump's return to office, easing over 60% of ongoing cases, meaning that, like, I don't know how much regulation they're going to put into crypto. I think that they like it to be kind of the Wild Wild West. I mean, people can operate in a decentralized, private nature and allow people to move autonomously across the blockchain. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it is interesting to see that, I mean, the easing of crypto since Trump coming into office is very obvious. How much does the Clarity Act actually start to, like, drill down crypto, or or I mean, it's really just going to create a guideline for centralized exchanges. And that's probably the best thing about it, is it's going to allow centralized, it's going to give centralized exchanges like the do's and the don'ts. And what I hope for, and what I've always said, is that I hope that the centralized exchanges become like the stock exchanges, to where like the exchanges don't hold, they're not the casino, you know what I mean? They don't hold the chips, they don't hold the money. They basically are there to exchange, but they don't hold the assets. That's what gets us caught the most. I'd rather it be more like a traditional stock, like a JP Morgan, or not like JP Morgan, like a Fidelity, and or like a Charles Schwab, where they're basically a third party. So you have the exchanges, you go out there and you exchange it, and then you're the third party that actually sits and holds the money. And I hope that's kind of what it does, because then it will alleviate exchanges from being able, like a Binance, to be able to go out there and manipulate markets with people's money. I do think that that's happening to this day. They say they have a 1-for-1 ratio, and they probably do. But what they're doing is they're taking that money that you guys do, you put on those exchanges, they're taking those, and they're able to make money off of it. They're able to go out there and buy and sell on the markets, be able to long and short, manipulate the markets with that money. But if they're not the actual, if they're no longer able to do that, they have a third party that holds the money, then that gets completely obliterated. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I want to see. But we'll see what happens here. There's market manipulation, even in the stock market. So how much you can control that, it's a tough one, dude. It's a tough one to say how much you can actually do this. But what this is saying to me is that we are reaching, oversold territory here. We've been in oversold territory for quite some time. This could actually go a little bit lower, which is what you saw over here in 2023, which is the bottom of the bear market. So again, these levels that you saw right here, we're already in those levels. I mean, just go back and look. This is back in 2023, 2022, 2023, right in this area. Go back and actually look at this level now. We were in these levels right over here, and we reached these levels and bounced out of them nicely. So we're reaching those levels now, which again gives me confidence that maybe we are towards the bottom. Also, when you take the fear and greed index and you see where it goes over the years, you go back to 2018, every time that we are actually in this extreme fear level, we bounce back. Again, it could take a couple months. I mean, you could see back over here, last time that we were in here in 2022, this started in back in February 2022, we reached all time, or not all time, but we reached extreme fear levels. And we were basically in this all the way until about September of about July of 2022. So basically from January of 2022 all the way through, we were at this level. So what is that? Almost 6 months that we were in this extreme fear level, but we bounced out of it and made massive gains from it. Last time we were here was July of 2024. We bounced out of it nicely. This was right during the ETF stuff. We had the SEC breakdowns on us. The SEC was tearing down Bitcoin, tearing down Ethereum. You obviously had the Biden administration that was not pro-crypto. We were in this extreme fear level, but we bounced back nicely out of that one after the ETFs came out here. And then obviously when Trump came in here, put the tariffs on here, we hit these massive levels, but bounced back cleanly. And we were basically in this from roughly January all the way until May as well. Here we are. We came down to these extreme fear levels back in, looks like we first hit this level back in August of 2025. And so we've basically been in this extreme fear level, or this buy zone area, since basically, August, September, October, November. I mean, we've been down here since August. I mean, in all reality, looking at these levels. So your August, September, October, November, December, January could be where we start to break out of this. But we'll see what happens here. And we broke out of these, but we've stayed in these areas for quite a ways. You know what I mean? So it's tough to gauge. Again, I'm just presenting this, letting you guys decide what's best for you. 85K won't hold. We're going lower. You meant Binance is just the same as FTX. They just haven't got caught. Yeah, I mean, I think all exchanges are like that, Mike Tran. I think exchanges should not hold the asset. I think that we should go to a traditional way. I mean, it's worked out for almost a decade now. Well over a decade, or well over a century actually, to where you have you basically have people that hold the money, and you have people that do the exchanges. Like, that's just the way it should be. I mean, you should have a third party, someone in between. You should have that. And that's why the ETFs right now are going through Coinbase. Coinbase Prime is what holds BlackRock and all them. Like, BlackRock doesn't actually hold the money. BlackRock just trades the money, but they have the third party in Coinbase that actually does it for them. So same thing, right? I mean, they should be doing that across the board. But again, that's just my opinion. But what's crazy about this is that the US ETF Ethereum weekly fund flows is a positive over last week, 80 million shy of what went into Bitcoin. So you can see that the ETFs for Ethereum is actually climbing, and it's because the Ethereum use case is starting to climb significantly. I know a lot of people out there dogging Ethereum. A lot of people don't like Ethereum. They feel it's slow. They feel like whatever it might be. But really what it comes down to, dude, is that Ethereum is still one of the most legitimate blockchains out there. Obviously, it's the first one that created smart contracts. It's still they've done a really good job. They've done a really good job in terms of reducing costs. It's still not at the levels of, let's say, a Solana and all those other things, but I mean, it has a reputation. The downtime on it's a little bit slower, but it's more reliable. People are actually moving to Ethereum a lot more than people think. I know a lot of people are saying, well, we should move over to, Solana or Sui or Cardano and all these things. And it's just, I mean, that's great to say all that, but I mean, the data is showing that Ethereum is still the granddaddy of blockchains outside of Bitcoin when it comes to smart contracts. And so people are moving a lot of this over. And I mean, the institutions are buying. The institutions are holding more crypto than ever before. And when you actually go back and you look at this, it's because you have things like this. JP Morgan is launching a tokenized money market fund on Ethereum. I mean, this is crazy to me, right? JP Morgan, Chase Bank, they're out here dogging Bitcoin, dogging crypto, but now they just came out and they're going to they chose Ethereum to launch their tokenized money market fund. And this is going to be huge for Ethereum. I mean, you got to realize that they're going to be using Ethereum to make those transactions. So the cost of Ethereum is going to go up. I mean, to me, like, this is super bullish for Ethereum. Like, I'm going to probably go buy more Ethereum because, like, I think Ethereum has the opportunity to do very, very well, especially if they're going to start launching tokenized market funds. And JP Morgan's just one of many that are jumping on this. We know that RWAs are coming to the blockchain, and we know that RWAs, that Ethereum's leading the pack when it comes to RWAs, and JP Morgan's obviously heading that pack. And they're not the only ones. They're just one of the ones that are making this announcement right now. But I think this is great for Ethereum. I truly believe that. And so, seeing that we're having this massive inflows, obviously it has a lot to do with what's going to be happening here with their market funds. They're going to have Ethereum on there to do that. So I'm locked in. Are you? I'm absolutely locked in. Manipulation's crazy, though. Yeah, the Clarity Act is now the next narrative for YouTubers to string people along with. YouTubers want the clicks, and they'll swear up and down that they don't. I mean, I've already said, the Clarity Act, I don't know if the Clarity Act is going to be, yeah, people, obviously it's going to be the news, right? Right, Spider? It's going to be it's going to be the buy the rumor, sell the news. It'll be interesting to sort of see how it all plays out here. Like I said, there has to be a few things in the Clarity Act for me to actually be worth it. And that's, giving less power to the exchanges. That's what it comes down to. You got to take the power away from the exchanges, dude. That's basically what it comes down to. And that's it, dude. I mean, in all reality, I feel that they kind of control the ups and downs of it all. Dude, scroll up just a little bit. Sorry. I haven't been answering the comments yet. I've been on a roll today, dude. So sorry about that. Maybe the simulation will finally be revealed when quantum computing breaking. I mean, yeah, they're already doing a lot of the quantum computing stuff, dude. Every token going half at least all-time highs. Guys, gets cooked. You can see right here. I mean, we're coming down. I mean, this is obvious. I mean, it's a very obvious thing here. I mean, the goal is to not get below your previous low, right? The previous low was back in April 2025, literally April 2025. And we're talking, 9 months ago? We came down, hit this low here, which was obviously during the tariffs. We don't want to go back below 74. I mean, that's when you've really entered bearish territory, especially, when the weekly starts to cross over. If you actually look at the weekly here, the weekly is going to be a really good indicator, and it's just too far down. Like, the weekly is not going to stay down here forever. I just want to point that out to you guys. Let me get this out of the way here. Like, the weekly does, go back and look at the history of Bitcoin here. Like, the weekly doesn't stay at the bottom forever. I mean, this weekly doesn't stay at the bottom. And we've been at the bottom for quite some time now, dude. We've been at the bottom since basically we peaked out here in September. We came up, we got rejected, we came back down. And last time we were in this area was right over in this area where we stayed basically. Let's see what is the math on that one. Oops, wrong one. What was the price? What was the date on this one? We stayed at this level for roughly 245 days. That's a long time. 245 days, almost a year. We stayed at this level, which is basically right when the ETFs came out. This is the whole ETF. When the ETFs got released here in January for Bitcoin and Ethereum, we went on this massive rally, and then it literally flattened out for almost a whole year, dude. A whole year we almost flattened out here before we took the next rally upward, right? So I mean, like, that could very well happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but I mean, we know that kind of was what played out right here. I hope we don't have a whole year, but some people think that we will. You got to realize, if we actually say that that's what's going to happen here, let's go back over here. We hit the bottom. That puts us back here at, what's it, 259 days. So that puts us back in May of 2026, where we start to bounce back out of this. Again, Q1, Q2, that's Q2. Got January, February, March, April, May, June. So that's Q2 where we start to bounce out. We said Q2 could be the peak of the year. That's beginning of Q2. That's May, June. So you got January, February, March, April, May, June, puts us right into a peak of the next run. So, and I don't know how long we stay in this level. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope that maybe we build back out of it and we stay at a little bit of a higher level. But I mean, the weekly doesn't stay at the bottom very long, guys. It doesn't stay at the bottom very long at all. So people think that we have further to go. I think it's crazy. Like, yeah, we could probably come down and hit some levels. We could come down and hit 75. We can come down and hit this low level of 74 again and have like create a nice little level here at 74. But I mean, the weekly's tap, bro. The weekly is way oversold, dude. It just doesn't stay long. But it doesn't mean that we can't have a prolonged climb back up, which is what happened, right? We took a long time to build back up here. And we had some ups and downs during this whole time period, right? We had this downtime right here, boom. It took a whole week before we started to climb back out of this. So we could have a couple ups and downs during this time frame right here, which is probably what's going to happen. We'll probably look something similar to this is what we'll see right here, is what we're going to see right here most likely. And people that could be the bearish territory that we're in. This was bearish territory here too. Like we climbed out of the bottom here and went up here, but this was very bearish in 2024. Realize that. This is a very, very bearish time in 2024. And then Trump got elected and the markets went absolutely insane. So this is a bearish territory as well. So we're kind of in that same boat right here where it's kind of bearish territory. We don't always have to have this massive sell-off. Like that's kind of what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is this sell-off right here was a massive anomaly. You got to realize Ukraine war came in here. You got Luna Classic collapse. You got FTX collapse. Like this is the FTX collapse. This is the Luna Terra collapse. This is the Ukraine Russia war. Like that's from basically November of 2021 all the way until September of 2022, which is basically a little over a year. We had some massive liquidation events in the market that were just crazy. We had a massive war that happened, multiple casualties. We had FTX, which was a huge exchange in the United States, get absolutely obliterated. And we had two top 10 cryptos. We had the stable coin for Luna Classic, and we had Luna, or actually it was Terra Luna. And then we had the stable coin, and then we also had the actual token itself or the blockchain, and those both got obliterated. So you're talking two giant assets, top 10 crypto assets getting absolutely demolished. No longer here, like literally gone. You're talking billions and billions of dollars obliterated. And so that's kind of where it's at. And so I don't see those events happening. I don't see like that kind of event. I mean, there'd have to be some crazy shit that happens for us to drop to these levels again. This is a bearish territory. We'll probably have something like this is what I'm hoping for. It's already kind of lining up like that. And I'm hoping that we continue to ride this out. Maybe it takes till May. Maybe it takes till April, May of next year before we start to see a rally out of it. But realize that even in those these are accumulation zones that allow you to accumulate to be able to take that next level up. And I'm hoping that next level, maybe by 2026 sometime, is there, right? And some people are going to laugh at that, and some people are going to be like, "Oh, this guy's talking, crazy. He doesn't know what he's talking about." Hey, dude, like at the end of the day, there's a lot of channels out there you can watch. I mean, all we're doing is just talking about the news. We're trying to find correlations. We're trying to find patterns to see where we're at, to try to make the best move for myself, and you guys make a decision what's best for you. That's really what it comes down to. 200-day income, and we'll see what happens here. I heard a YouTuber say ETH was dead. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Right? What's up, XXI? Good to see you, man. And the tubers pander to these people. I mean, I think as long as you keep it real, dude. I think that's the hard part is that a lot of people look at a lot of people actually that tune into these channels, they just look at the thumbnails, right? And again, I don't think my thumbnails are very clickbaity at all, dude. Like, I think my thumbnails are actually pretty. I mean, I look back at my thumbnails and I don't think that they're clickbaity at all. I think they're pretty straightforward on what I'm asking here. Some people might think that they are, but I don't personally think that they are. I mean, I look at my thumbnails, and so yeah, I mean, nothing's changed. I think if you watch my content, I don't think that they're anything clickbaity at all. I mean, I'm literally looking at this. I don't know. Maybe you guys think they are. Shit, I don't know. I try to keep it as real as possible, but I get what you're saying, dude. I'm not sure why Pure Wallet assets went down 12%. How my Pure Wallet asset went down? What do you mean? Are you looking at the $1? Well, I don't think $1 is here, dude. You're all geniuses. I don't think I'm a genius at all, dude. Your thumbnails are very legit. Yeah. Sent almost a 2 million. I know, I saw that. This is pretty crazy right here. Ondo to launch tokenized stocks and ETFs on Solana. So obviously you have Ondo coming out here. You had JP Morgan saying they were going to use Ethereum for tokenized stocks. Now you have Ondo coming out here saying that they're going to be launching on the Solana side. So you're starting to see a lot of these real world assets come to life here. And again, these stock markets these blockchains are going to start to be able to really increase in pricing And I think it's going to actually be really good for a lot of people in crypto here. Is that we already saw the ETFs are kind of like the tokenization of the stock market, and now they're going to flip that, and it's going to be back the other way. And so it's just kind of funny how that is. You think markets will rebound this month? It's tough to say this month. I think we'll have rallies, Emrod. I think we're going to have rallies out of this. Will they rebound? What's a rebound? Rebound back to all-time highs? Yeah, I mean, the rebound, if I think a rebound is like another way to say a rally, then yeah, there's going to be a rebound. I think there'll be a rebound this week. We'll have a rebound sometime this week, probably. Again, what levels do we get to? I don't know, but there will be a rebound this week. I think XRP is still a good hold. I mean, I bought XRP it's easy for me to sit here in my chair and talk about XRP because I bought it at such a good price, right? I mean, I was accumulating XRP at 30 cents, so I'm still a 5x up on a top 5 crypto. Like, that's a hard thing to say. It's like, dude, this is still we're still up 5x on this. And that's crazy. I mean, I've been holding it for a long time. Don't get me wrong. And a 5x is still a really, really good return. Obviously the $3 mark was my 10x on it. And, looking back, you're like, yeah, should I have sold? But, I didn't want to pay my stuff. I didn't want to pay my taxes on it. Like, I'm holding long-term. Like, there's no desire for me to sell it. Like, I'm just holding. But yeah, big XRP, I think, it's still sitting at a crazy price. Like, I mean, can this go lower? Maybe. I mean, no one knows for sure where all these things are going to end. But I mean, I think we have a pretty good idea. I've been listening to you for 10 months now. You've been consistent the entire time. I appreciate that, Scott. But no, you get people that come in here and never watch my content. I mean, you get people on X that are like saying, influencers are causing people to get liquidated in the market. It's like, well, I feel like if you actually watch my content, like I give out both sides of it. And I mean, it's all it is sharing the news, sharing news and thoughts, which I think is a good that's where you have to have open debate, public open debate. Like, I mean, I know people are on here, putting text out here, which I think is good. And all we do is just share the news. Like, people think like we're out here making these crazy predictions. All we're doing is sharing the news, looking at data, and trying to find best levels. And that's really what it comes down to. But people think like, I don't know what other content creators are doing. Like, I don't watch other content creators. People bring in content creators all the time, and I don't know who they are. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even watch anyone. I don't even watch anyone at all. I just literally look at whatever I want to look at, and that's really what it comes down to. We'll get a post-cycle rally, failed to make new all-time highs and choppy to downside till the summer of 2026. Yeah, and that's kind of where it's going up. I mean, that's kind of exactly, what Kev said there. I mean, like, I'm kind of on board. That's kind of what this is. That's kind of exactly what you just said, Kev, is right here. Like, we'll rally back up, not into new all-time highs, but we'll probably rally, have these nice little runs and goes, and we'll probably sit a little bit flat, maybe create another little low here, somewhere in between here, and then try to rally back above. And that's kind of this is like almost a perfect alignment of what I think is what's going to kind of happen here. Because again, you can't get much lower than this, dude. Like, just go back and look. I mean, even in this bear market right here, I mean, you couldn't get much lower than what this happened here. I mean, this whole downturn right here literally started up here, and by the time it hit the bottom, we were already at the bottom. So like, I mean, there has to be a clean rally back upward. Again, even here, like, you see we hit this bottom here and we hit a new all-time high, but I'm just saying, like, you can't get much lower than where we're at. I mean, it's kind of crazy, dude. Thumbnails are good. Your looks are questionable. You got to make the little bit. Maybe I'll start smiling or something in there. I'll just smile. That's funny, dude. Cent is a game changer. Cent's looking pretty good, dude. The market's been a scam. Market's been rough, dude. I'm with you, condos. Will you go live when Cent drops? I don't even know when it's going to drop. Have we decided when your thumbnails are trash? I love it, dude. Cent's crazy right now, dude. I'm going to be honest. I was looking at this today, dude. They're putting out new shit every day, dude. This is a crazy pre-sale. Obviously sitting here at 1.948 million. So almost 2 million sold in this pre-sale, 9 days left. Obviously, this is a project that's going against the exchanges, going against the institutions. They're going to go out here. Obviously, they created a bot. They created their own, basically network here to go out and attack and make and buy trades and then give it back to holders. I mean, right now, just this month, right? I think this has been out for almost not even 30 days, roughly 21 days. And it's already gone out there and traded roughly $71,000 in profits that are now being distributed back to not only Sentinel, but XCL and the holders itself. Like, that's awesome, dude. I think that this is exactly what's needed. And it's crazy. More project. I sat back and thought about this. Like, I don't know how come more projects haven't done this. You know what I mean? I feel like I haven't talked about it at all. It basically looks like a massive Head and Shoulders coming. It kind of does, right? I think someone actually put that out there, Kev. Someone was talking about this massive Head and Shoulders that was coming in here, and it probably will. We could have a nice little bounce back coming up here, and then maybe another little fall off here. But I mean, yeah, kind of looks like that in a way. Yeah, you'll have to figure out which way it goes. What's up, Austin? Had to join the A team while flying. What's up, Eugene? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here. How low do you think Bitcoin will go? Like I said, I mean, I kind of feel like Bitcoin is in a pretty strong position right now. You can see the low of the cycle right now is obviously at 80,000. The low of, and I say the cycle, and that's basically, this is the cycle, right? So you're looking at the cycle right here. The low of this cycle is at 80,000, but I mean, you can go back over here and say that the low is at 74. And, I wouldn't be shocked if we actually came back down to hit this level. I mean, you could think we actually just came down and we're right at the top of the 100 EMA. This moving average right here is the 100 day, right? This blue one right here, that's a blue one. Then we have like this green, or this like, what do you call it? This teal color right here, which is the 200 day moving average, which is again, right at the top, almost the top of where our, previous high of the previous bull was, right? The previous high of the previous bull was 69. This one's sitting at 67. So, I mean, nothing here is telling me that like we're going to come down and hit that level anytime soon. But I mean, like, they never know. We're going to have a rally back out of this. Like I said, this could be like what Kev just said, this could be a nice little head and shoulder, and then maybe a little sell off that comes down. But yeah, we're actually at a pretty good level right now. On the weekly, this is the weekly, by the way. The daily looks a little bit more rough. I mean, it looks a little rougher here, but I mean, you can see last time that these crossed over. I mean, let me get this out of the way here because it's a little bit of annoying. But you can see last time we came back out over here. Let's just go back and actually look at this. This is back in April. The 50 day came down past the 100, past the two, or actually bounced off the 200. We are officially past that. We're past the 200. The 50 day EMA or moving average has actually now crossed over the 200 day. Every other time we've actually bounced across it. So I mean, we on the daily, we've actually crossed I mean, this is what they call a death cross. I mean, this is actually a true death cross right here. And it's the first death cross that we've had since basically back over here before the bull run. This is December of 2021. We had our first death cross where the 50 day moving average crossed over the 100 and then crossed over the 200, and we continued downward. And we fell basically from that, crossed over on January 10th, and we hit the bottom of it basically right here, which is about 315 days. So it took 315 days for us to actually, if you want to go back further, it took us until we crossed back over that. It took us about 400 days before we crossed back over. And that's on the daily, right? So we just finally did that for the first time. We didn't cross over here. Right, we bounced off the 200 here. We bounced off the 200 here. We bounced off the 200 here, and this is the first time we've actually crossed over into bearish territory. And the daily actually has some downturn to come down. Look at this, dude. We still have some run here on the RSI, so we're coming down. It's coming down further. I don't know where it's going to go, but it is going to come down further. And we have entered the death cross with that. So, it's kind of crazy when you look at it like that. We can go back and look at the weeklies on this, and last time we crossed over with the weekly, you got to realize the death cross happened well before we went back over here. I mean, if you look at the death cross happened on January 10th of 2022, let's go back to January 10th. That's when the day crossed over, when we had our first death cross, and we didn't actually have the crossover until right around January 2023. So I mean, we're talking a full year later before the 50 crossed back over the 200. So I mean, yeah, take it for what it is. But I mean, the daily right now has shown us bearish territory, dude. Bearish territory for sure. No question. I mean, we had our first death cross with it, and we haven't had one like that since last bear market. So, doesn't mean we have to be in this market forever, dude. Do you ever see a below 50? Probably not, dude. 50 is crazy, bro. I mean, you could say, you can never say never. Crypto seems to amaze me. If you look at our previous bull run, the previous bull run high was roughly around 19K. We actually dipped below. Let's go to the 19K mark. We dipped below about another 20% below the all-time high. So I mean, I guess you could say if we go down the previous all-time high and we go down another 20% from the all-time high, where does that put us? I mean, shit, yeah, I guess it does. It does put us right in the 50 marker, 55K, right? Puts that 54. If we dip 20% below like the previous bear, we dipped 20% below the all-time high, which was 19. Then we dipped down below, went to 15. This one, if we say that we're going to go down to 70, we're going to go down to this level here, previous high. of 69, and then we go down another 20%. That puts us right at like 55,000. Some shit. Maybe if that happens, maybe. The 200 has turned from support to resistance. It's still struggling to get back over it. Well, obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but it is what it is. It is for what it is now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is definitely support now for sure. Um, oh, you think that this turned into the 200 turned from support to resistance? You think this is turning into resistance now? Oh, you're talking on the daily? Oh, you're talking to the daily. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking weekly. I'm like, God damn. Yeah, you're right. This has turned. I mean, anything now. I mean, even the 100-day EMA or 100-day moving average is now resistance, right? I mean, you can see. Look at our 97 is a massive level. This is a massive level of resistance right here, and kind of crazy, right? Kind of a crazy thing when you look at it that the 97 is kind of our next level when you zoom in on that time frame here. And then 62 is the level of support. 62 is a massive level of support right now, which again was back over here during this last little cycle where we clipped out. We had our run, and then we kind of just sat here for almost what felt like 9 months. So is Sailor going to go under? I think people are shorting the hell out of MicroStrategies, right? They're trying to show the opposite of that. So I think MicroStrategies could definitely have to sell some of their debt, right? We thought they found a loophole, and I mean, I'd be worried for them too. Jasmine's down 90% since year. Damn, dude, that's so crazy. What's crazy to me is that like you get these projects out here, you get a lot of these new I'd say like you get some of these older projects that have been here for a long time that people support, and and then people dog sort of some new ones, right? And it's still kind of crazy when you look at the pricing, because like we'll just take Exceller. I mean, Exceller launched almost 2 months ago, and again, it's not the biggest project out here, but I mean, and obviously the sales are happening. But when you zoom out on this thing, like it's actually done very, very well. Like I mean, like people that bought in the pre-sale are still up almost 300% on their investment, 261% on their investment. A lot of people aren't even like that when it comes to XRP. People were buying XRP at $3 and they're down below, but these new projects that come out here are actually performing better than some of the older projects here. And Sentinel is the next one coming out here and attached to XCL. And those, that brings some excitement back to the space that's obviously being completely obliterated right now. And you can see there's been a nice little clean bounce off of BTC. It actually came down and hit a wick right here at 186. So obviously a little bit of a liquidation event here on BTCC. I don't know if I actually saw that wick on, let's go back to XRP. Did I see a wick like that? I guess we did come down to 86. You're right. Damn, that came down pretty hot. So you can see over here, let's go to last hour. Yeah, that last hour came down pretty hot. So it's at the bottom right now. The 4 hours obviously coming down towards the bottom as well. I think this still has some room to go, dude. Like, I'm probably not going to enter until I probably won't enter this. And if I miss it, I miss it, dude. But I probably will wait until this comes down and actually hits around the 2% marker on the RSI. 12 hours at the bottom right here. I think this still has some time to go because the daily is still telling me that we have some ways to go here. You can see here the daily on the bottom here still has some ways to go down here. I think this is going to fully reset, especially after this little bounce back right here. XRP is going to fully reset. We'll probably come down and settle down here. We got roughly 5 hours left on the daily. I'll wait for that to come down and see where that ends up here on XRP before I buy it. And then 12 hour, we're about 5 hours away from that too. So I'm going to hold off. I'll probably hold off before I long anything here. HBAR's in the same boat here. Very ugly looking 4 hour chart here. This will probably come down and hit, but you can see the day chart already at the bottom. Like HBAR is probably probably close to a buying opportunity here. To be honest with you, I mean, probably is close to a buying opportunity because the day chart's at such a low level here. The 12 hours obviously bottomed out here, and the 4 hour it's just been a rough pattern. It hasn't followed any rough patterns. But basically, I mean, like HBAR actually is not looking too bad from a buy stamp, from a lot like going in and actually leveraging some longs right now. XLM, same boat as HBAR. XLM kind of looking nasty. But the 12 hours at the bottom, the day charts at the bottom, you have two indicators. Or this one's actually coming down a little further. So be careful with this one. This one's still coming down on the day. 12 hours at the bottom, but the day charts at the bottom are coming down. So give it about another 5 hours before you decide on this one. See where it goes. So let me accept that. All right, cool. Yeah, so this will be interesting to sort of see how this plays out here. For XLM. Solana's in the same boat here. Same with Ethereum. This has a ways to go on the daily here. 12 hours sitting at the bottom or towards the bottom, 4 hour coming down. So I think Solana has a little bit to go too today before I touch it as well. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum 4 hour needs to reset for me before I buy it. 12 hours at the bottom. Day chart's still working its way down here. I'd probably wait. You could probably see 27. I put it in Discord. 2,800 to 2,700 is probably my buy zone for putting a long position in on XRP or for Ethereum. Meaning that technically, yeah, you if you want to play the game of shorting, you could probably short right now, but that's not my game. So, what's your RSI saying on the longer time frames? Which ones are you like weeklies and stuff like that? I mean, the weeklies are down, dude. I mean, the weekly RSIs have bounced back on this, so that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these weekly RSIs, like you can't get much lower. I mean, this could hover around in this area, but like I don't see massive liquidation events happening because we're already at these, like we're already oversold. I mean, a lot of people have already sold for losses, or they bought and they're holding. Like no, everyone's sold their positions. I mean, that's basically what it's saying. This is oversold territory here, massively across the board on Ethereum, massively across the board on Bitcoin. And it goes back to the short-term holders here. I mean, short-term holders have sold massively here. I mean, like this is no joke. I mean, we're at levels we haven't seen. I mean, since the last bear market. So it's kind of crazy, dude. What happened to the Bitcoin dominance crash? I mean, the Bitcoin dominance is actually going up. Noon wants to store for wealth. Oh, let me get this over here real quick. Oh man, they do this thing on TikTok where you have to like match your thing over here, your puzzle. Or else they boot you off. You think, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. No, on your alts, I mean. Oh, okay. You want like the full alt season? I mean, you can see like my alts are at the bottom on my weeklies here. Everything on the alt season's coming down, dude. You could do the top threes. I mean, we could do top 3 cryptos here. Let me see. Let's go here. Do some top 3 cryptos. Let's go here. Let's go. Actually, let's go over here. Let's do. I gotta find the ones that actually exclude. Let's see, altcoin. I mean, we could probably do altcoins. Let's do it off of let's do it off here. Yeah, the altcoins still coming down on the weekly. It's at the bottom, dude. The weekly is at the bottom for altcoins, for sure. I mean, all weeklies are looking pretty bad. Almost all alts are at the bottom on the weeklies. I mean, you can even go out on the 2 weeks, but I mean, the weekly is pretty much telling us a lot of things here. So, but most things are down. I mean, these are some crazy buying opportunities. I mean, XRP is making a nice little bounce back right now. Obviously, hit 186, and now it's making a little bit of comeback here in the last hour, right? I mean, it's definitely triggered a buying opportunity here. It came down, hit 186. So obviously, some long positions have come in here. It's filling up a little fair value gap here on the hour, but in the week, the hour's down at the bottom here. But I'm waiting for the 4 hour to come down. I mean, the 4 hour might not fully reset, but the day chart eventually is going to reset this thing. I mean, last time we hit these levels, we bounced back. I mean, it very well could. We could do something like we see right here, where it comes down, hits a little bit below the 20, and we bounce back. I mean, that could very well happen right now. But I guess I'm looking for a clean reset on the daily. The 12 hours already towards the bottom here. And it had a clean reset last time, so it's hard to predict. I mean, if you do some leverage trading on this, just realize, I mean, if you do a 10x leverage on this, I mean, the chances to, I mean, if you even did like let's just put you put $10,000 in on this, for you traded $10,000 on a 10x, your liquidation's 171. That's a pretty far liquidation. You know what I mean? From a long position. So even if this dips down to like 185 or 181 again, you're still 10 cents away from liquidation on that. So you probably be like, even if it hits down to 181, you'll be 50, about 50% down on it. So, put your stop loss in so you don't take a big loss. But I mean, 10% is not too bad. If you put a 15% X on this, or you did a 15X on this, let's see where that puts us at, which is, again, that's getting extreme now, right? Now you're getting a little extreme on here. If you did a 15, if you did it at let's do a $20,000 on here, your liquidation's at 178. So still not too bad. If you think that 181 is going to be your lowest price, if you go back and actually look at this on XRP, I mean, the last time it dipped down, 181.3 was the lowest position back here in November. And then back over here in this massive liquidation event, we got down to 177. So got to realize if you say 177s, then put the 10x in. If you think it's not going to get below 181, then you might have a chance to do a 15x. But in all reality, I'm going to wait for this to come down just a little bit more before I mess around with it, dude. The chart for memory prices is depressing. No one can afford to build a computer anymore. Feels like that, dude. I feel like BTC has joined the likes of gold as far as macros goes. We need different circumstances for alts to moon. Oh, big time, dude. Have no chance to but print money. Big time. You don't just buy it because it's low. The market already priced it in for a reason. There's no bullish developments like in 2024. Well, I mean, every bullish development that's been here has been a buy the rumor, sell the news. Anytime that we've actually thought about the market's doing well off of positive sentiment, it's actually done the opposite, dude. So it's kind of crazy when you think about that. This is my first alt season, not liking it. Yeah, they can be a rough ride for sure. Yeah, you're talking about this and Sentinel over here. If you actually look, they have a whole incubator thing going on here. I haven't actually looked into this a whole lot here, but they've updated their dashboard on this. Dashboard's looking pretty clean. They got their swarm override over here. Obviously, they're waiting for the whatever returns come in here. But yeah, you go over here to the Sentinel Hive here, which Sentinel Hive is a holder registration, the collective registry for all Sent holders. And then if you go on here, I thought it showed, View Hive. Dude, it's crazy. I didn't realize this, dude. They have there's one person that holds 151,000. Again, there's no team tokens. There's nothing. Everyone has to go in here and buy their own tokens, right? So like anyone participating in this has to actually go in and buy their tokens. But the amount of money that's coming to this pre-sale, 151 is the top holder, 93, 44, 42. I have 21,000 so far in this one. I think I'm right here, 20,936. So like, dude, I'm not even top 10 holder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm 14th holder. That's crazy, dude. I was top 5 in XCL. Now I'm not even close. But yeah, there's people coming here dropping some big trades here, and like that's crazy, dude. And they're already live. It's already live. So we'll see what happens here. There's a lot of developments happening here under Sentinel, dude. Very cool project. I mean, even on the doc side, I was reading some of the doc stuff. Like now it's reading down here at the bottom. Like, dude, there's some cryptic stuff coming in here with the incubator. No idea what this is. Trying to read through it, but it's like pretty intense. So I think it's keeping a lot of people on their toes, and kind of cool, man. This is a cool project. It's very interesting on how this is all coming together. And the cool part is if you go back to the dashboard here, I think it actually says, where did it say? I might have missed it. But it actually says right here. I think if it's 2 million is sold, 2 million is sold what does it say? If the 2 million sold, something happens. The mites. Oh yeah, if 2 million sold the mite, they'll deploy the mite, right? So kind of cool thing. They jumping in for a 35x or more. A 35x would be crazy, dude. If you have $153,000 in a project and a 35x, dude, like that would be absolutely insane. I mean, 150,000 times 35 would be $5 million. We don't have to have Bitcoin all-time highs to get an alt run. I know. They jumped in. Yeah. Any actively developing crypto is bullish. We just need the right environment. That's true. Okay, I'll give you that for sure. Docs Austin. Yeah, I just saw the docs. Yeah, it's crazy to think that the mites will right here at 2 million pre-sale. So development timeline about 2-3 months for it to be fully integrated. But I think what they're doing here is super cool, man. Like I know people laugh at me for talking about this project, but I mean like whatever, you can think whatever you want. But I mean this is a very unique way of like going at it. Sentinel is pretty legit, dude. I'll hand it to them, man. They're out here putting some new stuff out here. It's kind of exciting in a way too. So to see all the new stuff developing is kind of cool. I feel BTC is different. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But overall, like I said, the markets are obviously down. The markets are a little bit rough right now. Indicators are telling us that. If you haven't been following the indicators, I mean, I said it in my Discord, the indicators were coming down. You saw it, dude. I mean, we see it right now. I'm waiting for these to come down a little bit more before I actually do make a move on it. You guys know that. Oh yeah, there's one thing. Fan just reminded me. We had a big indoor tournament this weekend for the girls, and so anyone that's here for my daughter's my two daughters. Right, I have two twin daughters. They play on the same team. They're out here shredding it like yesterday. I think my one daughter had a hat trick, first hat trick in the family, and the other daughter came back through, and she had 6 goals on the day. So absolutely shredding it up in the so. I'll play some of these for you if you guys are into it. But here we go. Here's one of them. Yeah, this is Lexi right here. So, and then this is Alex right here. I don't know what they're doing here. Oh, that was a handball, or that was a goal. And then here's my daughter's. Dude, she absolutely laced this thing, dude. This is that's one goal right here. That was Lexi's goal right here. On this one, she kicked it in right there. Boom, goal. And then this is my one daughter. She absolutely laces this, dude. Like one of the strongest. Like you couldn't place it any better, dude. She comes in and she just nails it right in the top. Look at that, dude. The best part is like look at these boys over here. These boys over here, his face is like, oh my gosh. And they're all clapping. But yeah, she absolutely laced it, dude, for a penalty for a free kick. So that's Alex. That's Alex right there. Yeah, she did phenomenal, dude. And then here's her again. Here's her again. Such a good turn and shoot right. Oh shoot. Something just happened here. That was such a good turn and shot right there. So she came in right here. Look at this play, dude. She had such a good turn. Boom. That's such a good turn, dude. She gets the pass. Nice receiving, nice little tap, and just drills it. That's pretty good for a little 9-year-old, you know what I mean? And then she comes in with her hat trick right here. After she got the PK, she came in, and then this was a pass by one of the girls. She passed it up above. She kicked it up above right here. Pass came in, it deflected off of her into the goal. So yeah, it's pretty good, man. They had a nice little, and then they had some nice little things that came out this weekend. They were just tearing it up, man. Yeah, I'll see. Fan put together a little highlight reel for you guys. Just to let you know, this is all fans doing right here. Fan put together a nice little highlight reel. They were beating the team by like 8, so they were just passing around. They're beating the team pretty bad, so they were just passing around, trying to like set each other up, get used to it. But yeah, it was a good weekend, man. It was a really good weekend. Their team did pretty good, and so this one was pretty good right here too. This was a nice. So this is a sister combo right here. That's Alex right here. She sends it across for Lexi. Lexi, boom. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good, dude. Nice little setup by them. Alex gets the pass right here. This is Alex right here. She sets it up nicely, dude. Nice little pass, and then that's Lexi right there. Boom, goal. They're all excited about it. So, dang, she's gonna be getting the NIL cash money. Hey, we got two for the price of one, man. They come as a package too. They come as a practice. They come as a package. That's exactly how it's gonna be. No question, dude. They're gonna come as a package. Let's see what happens here. We'll see what happens. Like I said, they had some pretty good plays across the board. Lexi's out here juking people out. You know, such a good pass, and she just missed it. But yeah, it was a good weekend, man. That was just one game, dude. They did pretty well overall, dude. So they tied one game. The team they tied to, they lost by a point differential of 1, which kind of sucked, and so they didn't make the finals. They lost by a point differential of 1. They tied the team that took it all. They ended up tying that team in one of the group plays, and so yeah, it kind of sucked, man. But yeah, they absolutely did really well. Lexi had 6 goals on the weekend. Alex had 3. Lexi had some pretty nasty assists across the board too. She was diming them out there. She's like Magic Johnson. She's just out there putting dimes down, you know. So they did really well. I think they won their first game. They won 6-0. Second game they tied 2-2. In this last game, I think they won 8-1. So yeah, kind of crazy, dude. Love the sport highlights. I know, dude. This is just one game. They had some really good ones, you know, and they had some really good touches, some really good passes. Lexi got fouled a lot. Look at her, dude. She's just getting absolutely obliterated over here. They got Texas. No, Austin started with one of our friends from. Oh yeah. So yeah, literally the twins from the movie Kicking and Screaming. I know, right? So yeah, sorry to go over here, but at the end of the stream, like I always do, got to show some highlights from this weekend, dude. That's some solid footwork. Yeah, they put together, indoors a little bit different too. You got to think about it. Like indoors, a lot faster pace. The ball moves a lot quicker, and yeah, it's the highlight of the day. The highlight of the weekend though was actually was actually this one right here. This is the highlight of the weekend for me, dude. So Alex, as you guys know, Alex is she's obviously she's about 6 months behind Lexi in terms of development, just because she didn't want to play at first, and then she came back and played. But dude, she has a foot, dude. That's one thing about her. She's got a stronger foot than Lexi. She might not have like the dribbling skills of Lexi and like the juking skills and all that kind of stuff, but dude, she when she gets a hold of a ball, she can lace a ball, dude. Like, and she laced it here, dude. There's no other. You couldn't have positioned that ball any other way, dude. Like, I look back at this, like this ball, like she straight just like you couldn't have positioned it in any other. Oops, let me pause that. Here you go. Like, look at that, dude. Look at her just kick. That's such good form. Look, she's hunched over, and then she just laced it right in the top. I just love these. I love the little boys over here, dude. Like the little boy's face over here was so funny, dude. These guys, these kids' faces were just cracking me up, dude. And the kid's clapping at the end right here. You can see him. He's clapping. He's pointing. Oh man! And the kid's clapping. So she was all excited about it, dude. So, but yeah, this was such a good kick from the weekend. That's her first free kick goal. Like, she's never had that before. So she was like super excited. You can see that. But this is what you live for, man. This is what you live for. So, even when crypto markets are down, when you're feeling in the gloom, just realize you got, family out there that loves, that you love and support, and, go touch some grass, go spend time with your family. Don't, always consume, don't consume yourself with it. Don't get so drained and exhausted to where you hate it and step away from it. Just relax, man. Just, go have some family, some friend time, whatever you got to do. Don't let it wear down on you. That's my advice to you guys. I've been doing this for a long time. You got to step away, dude. Even during this weekend, like, I didn't stream. We're obviously at soccer. This is my breakaway time. This is me touching grass, man. And these are the parts you got to enjoy the most. So don't let it consume you, dude. Don't let these markets drag you down. And just find what works for you. Find the cryptos that you like, and continue to accumulate those, even in the times where we're at right now. Like, HBAR is in a really, really good spot. We know the fundamentals behind these projects. We know what they can do. We know that the markets are going to come back here. We know that again, I'm not going to say all-time highs, but they're definitely going to rally back. And so that's when people are going to be able to double up, maybe triple up some of their money, especially if you're, doing leverage trades and stuff like that. But just be careful with that. Do isolated. And so with all that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for letting me share my daughter's soccer at the end of the stream here. Maybe tomorrow I'll share some more highlights with you guys. But yeah, just appreciate each and every one of you showing up, talking about cryptocurrency here. And hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. We do have soccer tonight. I'll try to come on tonight. I keep saying that I'll try to come on tonight, but things just keep getting wrapped up. But we'll see where the markets go. I'm going to continue to watch it. And if you're in the Discord, we'll talk about it over there, because we're going to see where this goes here in about 5 hours on the daily. If the daily comes down below the 20 on the daily here, if this comes down and hits below a certain level, if we get down to the zero here, this is going to be a buying opportunity for me when it comes to XRP. Even for HBAR, the daily's at the bottom right now. HBAR is actually looking pretty juicy. Bitcoin's another one of those. I'm going to wait for this to actually come down and reset itself here. Same with Ethereum. I'm going to wait for it to come down and reset itself here. Always does. Very rarely does it actually come down and then bounce back up, which is what happened right here. This is not looking like that. So, again, this happened back over in April here. We'll see what happens here. But I'm going to wait for this to come back down and reset to give me like a nice reset before I make a decision on that. So, but yeah, with all that, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Love you guys. We're out. Peace out, everyone.